This is the Evelo Aries, possibly one of the coolest looking electric bikes I've seen around, in part because it has full suspension. You can see back here, it's for the rear part of the bike. It's got disc brakes, it's got a lockout shock here on the front, rock shock, built-in LED lights here, and a really cool setup for either pedal assist at 3 levels, low, medium, or high. Along with just a twist throttle, like that. It also comes with a computer. I've added a little bell here. Boing. And a nice little cargo rack on the back. I had the bike shipped directly to me and built it myself, basically, and it took maybe just shy of an hour. It's fairly heavy. It comes in a huge box, and you basically put the front wheel on down here, and then you straighten out the neck and get the handlebars all set up. I actually had to rerun the brake cable. I put it down through the fork and then zip tied it there. I also put some zip ties back here on this battery pack, and that's because when you ride it, it can kind of slosh around a little bit, and I just felt like those held it down a little bit more. So the way this works, the controller unit is actually right here. See this little black part right here? And this whole lid fits over it, and that contains the battery. To get it going, you just plug it in like this. It's sort of like a computer plug. You just plug it in like that. There we go. And of course, first you want to charge it. There's a little plug right there for that. And it really doesn't take too long to charge. Once you've done that, you come up here, turn it on. You can see the lights lit up there. I'm going to turn on the bike lights to show you that. There we go. If this was night, you'd see they're actually pretty bright. Great lights. There we go. So let's take it out for a spin. Now the Aries is set up to be something of an off-road bike, but what I found is that the weight of the motor down here and of the battery pack and just the frame in general, which is somewhere around 63 pounds, it creates a little bit of imbalance, or it's just a little, there's kind of this momentum that kind of gets built up in the back of the bike, and especially if you're going over roots and stuff, it can kind of almost bounce around in the back. Instead of being sort of like a dampening feel of a shock, it's more of a bounce, and I feel like that might not be the case with bikes that don't have full suspension. So here I'm going to try to use the electric motor to show you what that looks like back there. Go ahead and take a curb. I don't know if you can see it back there, but the back of the bike, whoa! Back of the bike kind of hops around when you hit bumps instead of being dampened. The other thing I've noticed with the Aries is the time it takes to get the pedal assist to kick in. It's not instantaneous. I think there's maybe like a magnet set up down here. You kind of see These, I think they pass by this little sensor and basically tell the bike to kick in pedal assist or not. And so that makes for some interesting rides. It means that you have to pedal a couple times before it kicks in. It also means you have to stop for a second before it stops. So I'm going to try to demonstrate that real quick here. So I'm going to pedal and see how long it takes until you hear the motor. There we go. So it was like 1.5 pedal lengths. And now I'm going to do the same thing for stopping. So I'm going to let it kick in, and then I'm going to stop pedaling. There it kicked in. So really, I was stopped for quite a while before the motor stopped. And the cool thing is there's, each brake is a kill switch. So as soon as you hit the brake, it stops. But you have to get used to that a little bit. And considering this bike is fairly heavy, I guess most electric bikes are, but considering the weight of the electric bike, it's just a little bit, it can be precarious at times, and it's definitely a different feel than riding a bike. So all in all, the Aries is a pretty cool bike. I'm not sure it quite delivers on the joy that I felt when I saw it for the first time, and I was like, oh man, dual suspension, this thing's got a front fender, it looks like a motocross bike or something. The rear rack isn't terribly functional. You can't fit huge saddle racks on it, and I guess I'd be concerned about panniers, getting caught in the wheel. I'm also not a huge fan of the neck that's on it. I really had trouble adjusting it. And there's a few lower end components, but overall they did a pretty good job putting this package together for around $1,900. That's a pretty good price, and the pedal assist works, the throttling works. It's not a super powerful bike, and I live up some pretty big hills, so I would definitely be pedaling along with it. And there's a feeling when you pedal that the motor is kind of doing the work. You're just sort of pedaling for the sake of pedaling because it's almost easier than squeezing that twist throttle. I don't know, I've kind of got mixed reviews. Definitely works and is fun. I think it's a decent price. But I couldn't see myself actually mountain biking with this. I think it's just kind of for show. You can go off curbs and bounce around a little bit. It looks cool, and it works pretty well for the price. For more specs and the full written review, including unboxing, check out ElectricBikeReview.com. Thanks.